Hi friends, I'm here with a yoga offering. As always, please go at your own pace, rest whenever you need to, and feel free to skip things or change things if they're not working for you today. Let's begin on our backs. You can come into a Shavasana type position. Go ahead and spread out. And either close your eyes or take a soft gaze up towards the ceiling. And allow your body to rest. You can start to slow down your breath. Tuning into the movement created by your breathing. And see if you can bring this sense of ease through the rest of your practice, or come back to it as often as possible. So let's begin by sliding arms overhead. Stretch out really long through your arms and legs. Reach through your fingers and your toes. And then interlace your fingers. Press out through your palms. And flex your feet, reaching through the heels of your hands. The heels of your feet reach through your tailbone and the top of your head. And then release. Bring your right knee to your chest. Take hold of the knee and hug it in as close as you can. Check that your shoulders are still dropped, chin is still dropped, back of the neck nice and long. And let's straighten the right leg up towards the ceiling, holding somewhere behind your leg for a gentle hamstring stretch. Flex and point your foot a few times. Nice deep flex, full point. And then circle your ankle a couple times both directions. Nice big circles. Bend your knee back in, open your knee out to the right, and then straighten part way or all the way out to the side, grounding down through the back of the left leg. And just feeling what's here. What do you notice now? Bend your knee back in and take it all the way across for a spinal twist. You can use your left hand to guide your knee over. You could move the sensation to different parts of your body by doing the pose in a slightly different way. What's interesting for you? What's useful? Staying in your twist, try straightening your right leg on a low diagonal and your right arm on a high diagonal, connecting the end points. It's one really intuitive way of finding good alignment is take the ends and reach them away from one another here, fingers and toes. And then release, roll back onto your back. Bring both knees in. Take a little circle or rock with your knees, massaging the lower back, sacrum into the floor. And then grab hold of just the left knee. Drop the right leg long. Squeeze this knee in close. Maybe a little jiggle, rock. And then straighten the left leg up. Finding an appropriate stretch. Maybe it's going right up to your edge, maybe it's hanging back a little bit. Flex and point your foot a few times. Circle your ankle as big as you can, both directions. And then bend your knee back in. Open your knee out to the left, and then straighten part way or all the way out to the side, grounding down through the back of your right leg. Let's release, bend the knee and bring it all the way across, spinal twist. Open out through your left arm, let your left knee come towards the floor. And then you might experiment. What's it like if you bring your knee closer to the floor or your shoulder close to the floor? If you have more or less tone. You might use your hands on your body for a little self-massage. And then staying in your twist, try straightening your left leg on a low diagonal, left arm on a high diagonal, fingers and toes reaching away from one another. And then roll back onto your back. Bring both knees in. Little circle or rock with your knees. And then drop your feet to the floor. Find ease again, relaxed arms, hands, face. And then from this place of ease, start to engage your abdominals. Draw the belly in. Each time you exhale, draw the belly in a little bit more. Can you still relax your face, your hands, your shoulders, neck? And each exhale, belly even stronger, pulling in. So keeping this strong core and relaxing what else isn't needed. Let's interlace fingers behind the head. Exhale, lift head and shoulders up. Inhale, release down. Exhale up. Inhale down. Up and down. Up and down. One more. Release. Now bring your right knee in and your left elbow across so they come towards one another. Stretch the right leg really long. Bring it back in. Stretch it long. Bring it in. Stretch it long. Knee in. Reach long. One more on this side. Same thing, other side. Bring your left knee in, right elbow across, and then stretch it out long. Knee in, reach long. Knee in, reach long. In and out. One more. And then take both legs up. We're going to outwardly rotate the legs. And then bring one leg in front of the other. And then switch. And switch quickly back and forth as you slowly lower your legs towards the floor. When it gets difficult to keep the lower back on the floor, come back up. So slow, lower and lifts, quick little switches. Legs as straight and strong as you can, core strong. But can you relax your hands, your shoulders, your face? Can your breath be steady? Let's do one more lower and lift. And then release. Another little circle or rock. And then make your way up to sitting, and let's come forward onto hands and knees, tabletop. If you want to pad your knees, you're welcome to use a blanket or cushion. Set hands right under shoulders, knees under hips, and we'll take a few rolls through the spine, starting by lifting the head and tail, arching. Exhale, round. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curve. Inhale, arch. Exhale, curve. Now inhale, arch. Shift your weight forward, bend your elbows straight back and come part way or all the way to the floor. Press up from there. Round. Arch. Go forward to dip down, elbows hugging the side. So if going all the way down is too much, just go a couple of inches. Find how this works for you. Round. Arch. Go forward to dip down. Press up. Round. Arch. One more time, dip down. Press up. Round, and then sink back to child's pose. Releasing hips to the heels. Forehead to the floor. Find a relaxed position for your head, neck, shoulders. Letting go. With arms out in front of you, walk your hands over to the left and then pull back through your right hip, stretching right side a little bit more, looking for that opening. Come through center and over to the other side. Walk your hands over to the right and then pull back through your left hip, looking for an opening there. Come back to center. Letting go in child's pose. Let's lift up onto the forearms. Set your forearms so they're parallel, shoulder width apart. And then step your feet back, bringing your body into a straight, long line. So try not to have the hips up or down, but right in line with the shoulders, the head, the heels. And then take that whole long line a little higher away from the floor. So the whole underside, the shins, the thighs, the belly, the chest are all equally lifting up. And in this very strong position, can you find ease? Can you relax your face? And then release, drop the knees. Take the hips back for child's pose. We're going to take a little shoulder, chest opener in this. So bring the palms together so fingers point up, and then inch your elbows a little further forward and a little closer in. So they're shoulder width apart, and take the hips back and let the chest come down. So you're opening up at the shoulder connection. If you want more, you can push into your fingertips to take your wrists apart. So now the forearms are a little closer to parallel. And this is just a tool to keep in your toolkit. You know, anytime you're in child's pose, if you like this shoulder opener, go ahead and add it in. It's wonderful to be able to customize your practice to what you need, and you can take those things you need and even put them into a class someone else is teaching, telling you what to do, adding your own details that make it more interesting, effective, useful for your unique body, your unique needs. Let's release. We'll come up to hands and knees and get set up for a twist. Thread the needle. So start with hands under shoulders, knees under hips. Take the left arm up. Reach it as high up as you can. And then curl from fingertips down, thread it through, and keep going until you come onto your shoulder, the side of your head. And you can push your right hand into the floor or into your bottom forearm. Or some folks like to take it up or round behind the back. Lots of options. So you're exploring what's it like to be in this shape in your body. Anything you do will have an effect. What's it like if you shift your hips more to the left or the right? If you push your bottom arm into the floor more or less? And then release. Find your way back up to table, back to neutral. Take a few rolls through the spine, arching and curving on your own time. And then finding your way to neutral, same thing, other side. Right arm lifts up. Take it as high up as you can. Is there more? And then curl from fingertips down, thread it through, come onto your shoulder, side of your head, and then you can push the left hand into the floor or into your bottom forearm. Nice twist. What do you notice? Can your breath be deep as you're twisting, as you're a little constricted? Last breath here. Release. Unwind, come back to neutral, back to table. Let's take a few rolls through the spine. Arching and curving on your own time. Feel free to add any front to back or side to side or circular movement. And then we'll come into downward facing dog. Tuck the toes, lift the hips up and back. And you might begin by pedaling out your feet, bending one knee as you press the opposite heel towards the floor, waking up the calves and hamstrings. And then as you settle onto 2 feet evenly, feel free to have your heels up or down, your knees bent or straight. Can you find just the right amount of effort, doing everything you know to do, everything that's needed to hold this shape? And then how much ease can you bring? How much can you relax into the experience? And that doesn't mean relaxing everything. There is effort required to be in down dog. Can you find the minimum effort to be in your full expression of this pose, and then let go. Let's walk hands and feet towards one another, and then hang in ragdoll. You can bend your knees a little or a lot. You can take any arm position, might be just dropping your arms, could be linking elbows, could be using some support through your arms, resting elbows on thighs or hands on ankles. Finding a position where you can let the weight of your head hang, let that go. Relax your face even more. Bend your knees a little more, and then let's lower the hips all the way down, coming into a squat, Malasana. If your heels don't easily come to the floor, you're welcome to widen your stance or turn your toes out. If you're balancing on the toes and it feels okay for you, that's fine to have the heels up. If it's not feeling great, you might modify by sitting on something like a block or sliding something under the heels like a blanket or cushion. Finding how this pose works for your body right now. We're going to open up the knees using the elbows. And as best you can, roll your shoulders back and down so the chest is open, equal length on front and back, neck in line with the rest of the spine. We'll work our root lock here, Mula Bandha. Same as a Kegel exercise. As you exhale, draw the pelvic floor muscles in and up. As you inhale, release that. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. Exhale, engage. Inhale, release. And then engage and keep holding, keep breathing, drawing in strongly through the bottom and connecting that up to the top. Feel the full length and space your torso takes up. And release. Let's come back to a forward fold. Turn the feet back to parallel. Again, any arm position. Some other options are rubbing your own shoulders and neck or taking a handful of your hair, pulling your head towards the floor. Let's plant the hands and step back into a high push-up position. So now plank on the hands. Again, feeling the connection between your head and your heels. Whole long line, strong body. Shift your weight forward to lower down. Low push-up. And now let's take a little back bend. So this can be as low or high as feels right for you. It could be a little baby cobra or even sphinx on the forearms. If you want to take something deeper, you're welcome to come to a deeper cobra, wherever you are, shoulders down, or up dog. And at any moment, you might make it deeper or more gentle. Feeling where you are, feeling what you're doing. And then back to down dog. From down dog, take your right leg up in the air. Bend your knee to your chest and start circling this bent right knee, letting your hip open and close in response to the circle. If you would rather do this from hands and knees, you can also drop the left knee to the floor and do this from tabletop. Next time your leg is up, reach it straight, send it a little bit higher. And then a big step forward, low lunge. We're going to drop the back knee. You can pat it by rolling up the side of your mat or using a blanket or cushion. And if you want to grab blocks for your hands, go ahead and grab them. Sink the hips forward, looking for an opening at the front of the left hip. And you can keep your hands on the floor or blocks. You can bring your hands to your knee, your hips, or arms up. One more breath here. Release. Hands to the floor or to your blocks. Hamstring stretch. Take the hips back. Inch the front foot forward and then flex your toes back. Hands right under shoulders. As high as you need them, going towards hip square, towards a flat back, towards folding. If any of you want to go towards splits, Hanumanasana, you're welcome to. To release, bring both hands to the inside, turn out through the right foot, and then make your way to lizard pose. You can come down onto your elbows on blocks or the floor. Explore here. You want to shift your weight more to the left or right. You want to turn the right toes out more or less. Do you want to add a quad stretch? You might bend the back leg and reach for it. To release, we'll make our way back to down dog. Take any movement you'd like. If you want to take a vinyasa, you could come back through high push-up, lower down, chaturanga. Take your back bend, and then find your way to down dog, but that's optional. Move in the way that feels right for you. Take the time you need to do it. From down dog, when you're ready, left leg sweeps up. Bend your knee in and start circling this bent left knee, feeling all that's being stirred up as you do this. Next time your leg is up, reach it straight, and then a big step forward. Low lunge. You might adjust the distance between your legs. You might pad your back knee. You might grab blocks for your hands and then settle the hips forward. You can stay with hands on the floor or blocks, or bring them up, taking something like the variation you did on the first side. One more breath. Release. Take the hips back, inch the front foot forward, flex the toes back. Hamstring stretch, finding the variation of this that suits you. Most poses can be made more or less challenging, and that can be done very subtly. You could slide your front heel forward and come all the way into splits, but you could also just flex your sit bones back a little bit more and get into the hamstring in a more subtle way. You could back out by coming up higher on your blocks. You could also back out by just bending the knee a tiny bit. To release, we'll come into lizard pose. Bring both hands to the inside. Turn out through the left foot. And then settle towards the floor. You might shift your weight around, experimenting. How does this work best for your body now? You might add a quad stretch if you did so on the other side. And then release. Let that go. Find your way back to down dog. Any movement you want to take. A few breaths in down dog or any other neutral shape. Coming back to center. And then make your way to sitting. Let's get set up for a supported fish. If you know how you like to do supported fish, you can come right into it. If supported fish is new to you, it can take some figuring out. What's the right height? What's the right placement? So we're going to be lying over something. Could be a block, a blanket, cushion, foam roller, a couple books. Something is going to go behind the upper back. Pretty high up, just low enough that your shoulders can fall off the end of it. Nowhere near the lower back. And then depending on how high the thing you've chosen is, something else might go behind your head. So that instead of the chin being way up in the air, the back of the neck is long. So coming into the first position you're trying, see how this is. How's this working for you? Arms can be overhead or out to the side. Legs can be bent or straight. If this is not feeling quite right, experiment. In general, higher and harder the thing under your back will be more intense. Softer, smaller will be less intense. Do you want more or less intensity? Maybe it's the placement. Can you bring it a little higher or lower in your back? If your lower back is gripping, can you tuck your tail towards your heels? If it's still gripping, you might do this with knees bent. If arms overhead is too much, try bringing your arms out to the side. We're finding somewhere between the two. Letting go. And keep settling into ease. One of the things I love about this pose is it brings intensity. The back is in a big arch, just like if you were in wheel or camel or bow or some other deep back bend. But here, the main work is the work of letting go, of surrendering. So can I feel the intensity of my back opening, chest, shoulders opening, coming into a position that's a bit edgy, and soften and release? If the answer is no to that, no, I can't soften, no, I can't release, then it means you've chosen a shape that's a little too intense for right now, in which case, take it down a notch. You're welcome to stay here longer if you're enjoying yourself and you want to stay. If you're ready to come out of it, one gentle way of doing so is to interlace fingers behind your head. Lift your chin to your chest, taking the pressure off your props, and then you can lean to one elbow, moving your stuff out of your way. Let's take a supported bridge. So now something is going to go under the sacrum, a bit lower than the lower back. Could be a block on low, medium, or high. Could be a stack of books. Could be a bolster, foam roller. And then let the hips rest. You feel your belly release here. This is a gentle inversion. The hips are higher than the heart. And this is a great position to get into the fronts of the hips, places that can get really tight, especially if you do a lot of sitting. So let's bring the right knee to the chest, grab hold of it, and then straighten your left leg, the other leg, and let that straight left leg hang. And the more you hug your right knee to the chest, the more you let that straight left leg hang, the more of an opening there can be at the front of the left hip. And then release, switch sides, bring your left knee in, grab hold of it, straighten the right leg, and let the front of the right hip yawn open. When you feel even on two sides, let's bring both knees in. So you can stay here, just releasing both knees in or up. If you like, you could straighten both legs up in the air, part way or all the way. Try and find a position where you can almost totally relax, as if you were stacking your bones and the muscles could just let go and hang. Relaxing everything towards the floor. If you're enjoying where you are and want to stay longer, you are welcome. If you're ready to release out of this, take your time. Might bring your knees back in. You can eventually have your feet find the floor. Taking any props out from under you. Roll down. And just check in with your body. What do you need? I'm going to wrap up this practice. So this is a time to get in any last pose or stretch, something that would feel good to wind things down for you. Happy baby could be a good counter stretch. Taking another spinal twist. If there's a part of your body that needs some attention, how could you give it what it needs? If there were no right or wrong way to do this, what would you do? Moving at the pace that feels right, taking the time you need for whatever you're doing to wrap things up. Eventually coming into a symmetrical, relaxed position for your final resting pose, Shavasana. Take your time getting comfortable. Do you want to use any props and adjust anything? Eventually settling into stillness. Slowly begin to wiggle your fingers and toes, gently waking your body up again. And let this movement increase gradually through your wrists and ankles, eventually stretching out long through your arms and legs. When you're ready, bring your knees in. And roll to one side, pausing there for a moment. And use your hands to help you up to sitting. Bring hands together at the heart. And just take a moment to silently thank yourself for your practice. Acknowledging the important role it plays in your life. You might let that gratitude expand out to the people, teachers, circumstances that support you on your path. Namaste. Thank you, everyone. Thanks so much for practicing with me. Really appreciate it. I love hearing from you. I love getting stopped in the co-op and hearing that this has made a difference in your life. Thank you to those of you who have taken the time and let me know that this has a positive impact. That means a lot to me. I also appreciate financial contributions. They are how I pay my bills. This is my job, so thank you to those of you supporting. Venmo, PayPal, Patreon, checks are all very much appreciated.